Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back to another Friday game review. This time, to go along with our month of Wild West adventures and Wild West craziness, I am going to review a game you guys probably have never heard of. This is Wizards and Gunslingers. Sorry, it's probably reversed because of the way my camera works. I need to work on that, but enough of that. This game was published, 2007, and I've had it since about 2010 maybe. So I've had it in my collection for, more than 10 years. And it's got a lot of cool things in it. It was put out by Comstar Games and written by Trevor Bannister. And it is very Deadlands-ish with a couple of twists. One being that your characters can sort of stay in the game after they're dead, provided a few things have, not happened, like they've been, buried under an avalanche is one of the examples. And they can come back if you can get the right magics together. It's a 3-stat system: strength, speed, and intelligence, and it has basically sort of a buy system for your stats. Basically, kind of like a percentile system with your stats and a lot of the rolls, which I kind of like. However, damage and hit points and things like that are done on different dice and different things like that. But it has kind of a couple of unique twists on determining things like what class your character is. That's actually dependent on the skills you pick up along the way. Kind of like, from what I hear, Legion of Myth's favorite game. I'm not going to mention it because it's a little too early to be drinking. But if you guys know, Earth Dawn. And you actually get experience points. And I was talking about this a while ago to a couple of friends of mine, where your skills actually, every time you use a skill, you kind of keep track to see if it goes up in ability. Almost like keeping track of experience points for your individual skills. And you don't have a whole, massive list of skills to worry about, but every time you use it, you roll a percentile to see if it goes up. And mind you, your chances of it going up are fractions of a percent. So it's a little bit more record keeping than some people might like, but it does address the actual situation of, why would all your skills go up just because you went up a level if you haven't used your read magic skill in a couple of levels and suddenly it goes up? That doesn't make any sense. But here, if you use a skill and you roll really good, then it goes up. Cool. I like that. It also has this really cool game mechanic where if you read certain books, and mind you, there's a lot of books to choose from in this game, which I really, really like, that you can also use those to improve your skills. That's why technical manuals exist in the first place, not just as a reference and a reminder tool, but you can literally, depending on your dedication to said book and the regime that it entails, and you take to heart all of the tips and tricks that the book may have, that you could increase your skill at various things. And that's a really neat game mechanic because, as you guys know, I have a pretty extensive library. I like to read a lot, and I know that I've learned a lot of things from reading books. Maybe not enough to become a brain surgeon. Well, clearly not. But you get my drift, where if you take the time and you read the book and you do the things, then maybe your skill will improve. Combat is also a percentile system, and right off the bat, depending on what kind of character you roll up, will determine how well you are at it. Magic is also not as well defined as I would like, but it's it's a one book, covers everything. It's only 200 and it's barely 200 pages if you include the character sheets and things like that. In the end, it'll exceed 200, but if you take out all the quick references, it goes to 191 pages. There's not a huge monster section, which I would have liked. Actually, the appendix chapter starts at page 181. But this game gives you everything you would need to start your own Deadlands style game with emphasis on its own world. It's not an Earth based game, which I really like. As you guys know, I don't do Earth games. That's just a thing. Like I said, the monsters are, there's a few. There's, everything you need to make up your own monsters and spells and magic items. The magic items are a little weak in my opinion, but the overall game is not meant to be a super power fantasy game. The world of Westru is the name of the world. I really like that. It's got a very Trigun sort of feel to it, where it's not Earth. It's a different world. It's also got a bit of a Full Metal Alchemist feel to it as well. One interesting fact that there are pretty extensive rules for should your character become a werewolf or a vampire, and I know that appeals to a lot of people. The boy and I, we think they need to be put down as the animals, the rabid animals that they are, but that's us. There's a nice, good section on NPCs, and of course, the obligatory Game Master section on how to run the game, as well as, the pre, information. If you've never played a role-playing game, it has a nice section on teaching you how to play a role-playing game. And, the magic system is a mana point system, which I'm a big fan of, because that way you can do different things, instead of spell slots, which, let's face it, is growing out of favor more and more. But there you have it. Wizards and Gunslingers. If you don't have it, and you're interested in getting it, take a look on eBay. You might be able to find it. Maybe it's on drive-through. It didn't do real well on the open market. When it came out, I barely found it, only through looking for Western RPGs, and I saw it. I'm like, I'm digging it. I like it. I've used a lot of the ideas, especially the book idea, and some of the other ideas. Mostly the feel of the game itself when I run my RPGs, because I'm as you guys know, a big fan of Westerns. But I wanted to give you something to start off the month with. Maybe you'll go out there and try to find a copy. If you can grab it for $20, that alone is worth the price of admission. Anything more than that, it came out back in the day at $29.99, and if someone's asking for more, just put it on your saved searches. Wait till summer rolls around, maybe grab it cheaper. Maybe you can snipe it off somebody's eBay, for a opening bid price, because you're not going to get a ton of use out of it as a game on its own, but it's got a lot of neat ideas, a lot of well-written notions on how to run a game and how to play a Western game that's not Earth. And that, for me, is the biggest selling point, because don't do Earth-based games. I'm trying to escape from Earth when I play, not, have other kinds of, escapism sort of role-playing experiences. If I want to play an Earth game, I'm going to play Top Secret. That's probably the only one. And these days, not so much. But anyway, enough of my rambling. Time to get on with the rest of the weekend. I got another show this afternoon with none other than Brian from Weird World War II. I hope you guys subscribe. I hope you watch the show this afternoon, because it's a one-on-one, just me and Brian getting to know each other and seeing how he got into this whole crazy hobby of ours. So until next time, folks, happy trails.